Hi guys, in today's video I will be going through the process of connecting DBT to PostgreSQL database. So let's get to it. Okay, so like I mentioned in this video, we will be going through the process of setting up DBT to connect to PostgreSQL database. Okay, so this is the documentation page provided by DBT that walks you through the process of connecting DBT to PostgreSQL database. Alright, so I will put the link for this documentation in the description of this video so that you can also refer to it if you want to follow along. Okay, so these are the steps. The first step that you do need to do is install the libraries. So you do need the DBT Core library and the DBT PostgreSQL. So the DBT Core library is the one that installs DBT tool, which is the open source version. So remember, we do have two versions for DBT. We have the one that runs in cloud, and we have DBT Core. So the one that runs in cloud mostly connects to data warehouses that run in cloud. So if you think of BigQuery, Snowflake, Redshift, and I think the one for Azure. So those ones are the ones that you can also use DBT Cloud. But that one comes with some fees on it. It's a commercial feature unless you are running as a developer. So you do need to pay the cloud version if you're running it in production environment. But DBT Core is just a open source CLI tool that you can use. So this is the one that we are going to be using in this video. And DBT PostgreSQL is the library that will enable you to use DBT to connect to PostgreSQL. All right, so you do need to install both of this, and we will go through that process just in a minute. And then if you go down here, you will need to set up the profiles YAML file. So this is part of DBT, and the information that you need to connect to your PostgreSQL database. You do need the hostname, you need the username. This is the username, a valid username that you use to connect to your database, and the password as well. Okay, and we need the port number, we need the database name. All right, so we do need this information, especially these ones that I have highlighted here. These are the ones that are the most useful ones. You can also include the rest of the other information. All right, so we will be coming back to this page probably along this video. So before we proceed, we do need, of course, to have installed our PostgreSQL database, and I have here my pgadmin open. So there's a video that I made where I went through the process of installing PostgreSQL in MacBook. So do take a look into that video if you want to also set up your PostgreSQL environment if you don't have one. So I have here the PostgreSQL environment ready, and I have my databases here. Okay, and then now the other thing that we will need to do after that is, of course, install the libraries. All right, we need to install the core libraries. So since I have my pgadmin ready and I do have my databases, of course, we will need to create a database that we can use in our setup. And I think actually, since we're here, let's go ahead and do that. So remember, in the configuration document, we need a database name, and also we need a schema as well. So what I will do in my pgadmin, I'm going to go ahead and create a database, and I will call this database DBT demo, like that, and I will leave the rest of this as default. Now inside my database, we do need to create a schema. So if you don't create a schema by default, we have the public schema. I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to create another schema inside this database, and we will call it, where is it? Schema right here. We will call it staging like so. Okay, so, and I'm going to create it. All right, so now we have our database ready, which is DBT demo, and we have our schema staging. So we do have two schemas here, public and staging. So we will be using staging to write our DBT tables too. Okay, so we have tables here, And right here, if you look in the table section in our staging, it's empty, of course, because just created it. There's nothing in there. So we do have now of course, we have the server, which is localhost. The port number is default. I think it's 5432. And we have our schema ready. Okay. So now the next thing to do is to go ahead and set up our DBT Core. So we do need to go ahead and install DBT Core library and DBT Postgre. So to do that, I'm going to open my Visual Studio Code. So if you don't have Visual Studio Code, just go ahead and download it. Again, there's also another video that I made where I went through the process of installing it, but it should be straightforward really. Just go to internet and look for VS Code and download it. Alright, so I'm here in my Visual Studio Code now. So what I will do is I need to open a folder where I have my workspace. And for this, I'm going to open a folder here. I have a folder in my users directory called repos. This is the one that I've been using. I'm just going to open that. And if you see here, these are some of the projects that I have been working with. I did connection to Snowflake using DBT. I did one to Redshift and MySQL, and there are also those videos available if you want to take a look. So in this video, we will be going ahead and setting up another project to Postgre. Okay. So I have here my DBT virtual environment. I'm going to delete that so that I can just show you how to get another one for Postgre. Okay. So what we will do, I'm going to delete this and we will open another terminal here. We do need to create a virtual environment. Okay. We do need to create a virtual environment, and that virtual environment is where our libraries will be going to. And before I go ahead and create the virtual environment, take a note of this requirements file. I have here DBT Core, I have Snowflake and MySQL, and also DBT Redshift. So these are the libraries that I used to connect to these data warehouses. So for Postgre, all we have to do is just include this additional one here. Just I'm going to copy that and I will append it to this requirements file like so. So again, you don't have to do this. You can basically run this code and it is going to install it for you, and you will have the library available. Okay, so for me, I'm just going to put it here because it makes it easier for me to interact with these libraries. So we will go ahead now and create our virtual environment, v and v, and I will call this DBT demo. Okay, so this will create a new virtual environment. Okay, so we have a new virtual environment created here, and if you navigate to this, you will see that under pin folder you have the activate option. So we'll do that. We will activate this virtual environment. Okay, let's do source dbt demo pin activate like so. Okay, so now I'm inside my virtual environment, or virtual environment. And then if we do pip freeze, we should not see anything here. So we have a clean virtual environment now, and what we need to do is to install our libraries. So we do need to install Postgre and DBT Core. You can get rid of this. You don't have to install this for your case, but for me, since I'm using this connections, I'm going to go ahead and just leave these ones here. But again, the only two ones that you need is are these ones, the DBT Core and DBT Postgre, and that is also mentioned here. So if you don't want to use the requirements file, then you can just copy this up to here and then paste it here, so like so. Okay, and then you can run this. So this should run and install these libraries. Of course, you do need to have your virtual environment so that you can install it only within the virtual environment and not globally in your laptop. Okay, so what I will do, since I have my requirements file here, is I will install all the libraries that I have in my requirements file. So to do that, I'm just going to do pip3, and I'm using pip3 because this is MacBook, and I'm using the version 3 of pip. So I think in Windows, pip should work fine. I think even in Mac, pip should also work fine, but I'm not sure. Let's actually try that. So if we do pip install R requirements, like so, let's see if it's going to work. Okay, I think it should work fine also. All right, so both pip and pip3 should work fine, I guess. So it's going to install these libraries, and then once this is done, then the next step that we will do is go ahead and set up our connection to Postgre. Okay, so let's watch that. Okay, so it's done. And now we can clear this, and if you do pip freeze, just to make sure that you have your libraries installed, you can see here that we have installed MySQL, and then we have Postgre. Okay, we also do have Redshift and Snowflake that are included. And you should also have DBT Core in these libraries, and we can see that that's also available right here. Okay, so we have all of the libraries that we need, and now to initialize our project, we do DBT init, and I'm not sure if they mentioned it here. Let's see if they did it, if they mentioned it somewhere here. It doesn't look like it, unless I'm missing it. But basically what you need to do in order to set up your project for Postgre, all you have to do is just type this command dbt init, and this will initialize your project dbt init. Okay, and we are going to call the name for this project Postgre, like so. And we have here the list of the databases, and we can see that Postgre is also listed here at number 5. So we're going to choose that. And then for the host, we will use localhost because we have our server installed locally. The port number will remain as that, and for the username, we will use Postgre. So this user was installed automatically when we were installing, or was created automatically when we were installing Postgre. So again, do take a look into that video that I made for installing Postgre, and you will see that this user was created automatically. And we also specified password for this user at the time of installation, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to put the password for that user here. Okay, and then I will go next. Now we go to the next step, DB name, and this is where it requires our database. And we created our database in pgadmin. So if we go there, you can see that our database is dbt demo, so we just need to enter that. So this will be dbt underscore demo, and the schema will be staging. All right, so we are going to be using staging right here. Okay, so staging, there we go. And then for trails, I'll just leave it 1. Okay, so just click enter, and right now the our setup is now complete. Take note of this information here. This is where your profiles file is created. It will be in your users directory, and it will be under .dbt profiles YAML. So you might need this. You might need to modify this file in case your connections are not working properly, because this is where your connections to the database are maintained. So you will not be able to see it anywhere in your structure here. Okay, so in case you need to modify the connection, including the host name, the database, the schema, or the user and the password, it will be maintained in the profile. So you do need to take a note of this, and so that you can navigate there. But basically it's just in your users directory, so just go there, and then .dbt will be there, and under this .dbt will be your profiles folder. All right, so let's go ahead now and do a test run so that we can make sure that we are able to connect to Postgre. But before that, just, you can see that we have our structure created here now. You can see that we have analysis, macros, we have models. This one always comes by default when you set up DBT for the very first time, but you can remove it later once you start your development. We have seeds, and we have snapshots, and also tests. So we can see now that our structure looks good, and if you go to your DBT project, you will see some of that information. So we named our project as Postgre, and our profile is also named as Postgre as well. So we can see the information like materialization. By default, here the materialization is defined as a few. So every time that you run your models, if you don't specify how they should be created, then they will be created as a view in the destination uh, folder or destination target. All right, so let's go ahead now and run a test for this. So we need to go to our project Postgre, and what we need to do here is just run dbt debug. Okay, like so. So dbt debug will test and check if all of your connections, the connection information that you put in the profile folder is good, if your structure in your project is good. So it will be looking for dbt project, of course, and your profiles to make sure that it's able to connect to the database. So let's run this and see if it's going to run properly. All right, so as you can see here, we have a problem here, and the problem here is that the dbt demo does not exist. So you can see here that we do not have a database called dbt demo, and I think I know the reason for this. I believe Postgre is case sensitive, and we created our database and schema in capital. Okay, so you can see this in uppercase. So we do need to modify that. So let's go ahead and do that. So like I told you, we do need to modify our profiles because that's where our connections are kept. So if you come to your users directory uh, and you do ls and list all the objects there, you can see that we have dbt here. So I'm just going to connect to that .dbt, and then we have profiles. Okay, so this is the profiles, and if I do cut profiles, if I just read this, you can see that we have two profiles here. One was for MySQL, and then this one is the one that we created for Postgre. So the thing that we need to update here is the DB name, the DBT demo, and also staging. We need to make them uppercase. So to do that, I can actually use VI to open these profiles. So like so, and then we just need to hit insert on your keyboard, and we will scroll down here, and we need to update this to dbt demo, and then also staging, we make this uppercase as well, staging, and then click escape colon WQ in small letters, and this is going to save. So if we now read it again, you can see that we have updated our database and staging. All right, so we can get out of terminal, and if we go back to our Visual Studio Code now, let's try and run it again. Run dbt debug, and let's see what happens. All right, there we go. So we can see this time it passed. It passed all the tests. Again, that is a very critical step. If you don't enter the correct information in your profiles file, it's not going to work. So you might run into errors like those, and we just had one perfect use case for this video. So now you are able to successfully connect to your Postgre. So that means that you can start your development now and do your transformations, and bring data from Postgre, do the transformations dbt, and write it back to Postgre. So let's do an example for this, and I think it comes by default with the models that we have. We have two models here. This one called my first dbt model. This one is created as a table when we run. So in our staging, when we run this we should be able to find a table called my first dbt model when we run it. Okay, and also the second one here is my first dbt model, and we don't have the configuration for that specified on how it's going to be materialized. So that means that it's going to take what we have here in the project. Okay, So we have specified here that if the materialization in downstream models is not specified, then pick this one for that is specified in the project, and then just go ahead and create it. So this second model here will be created as a view, and then the first one will be created as a table, and it will maintain these names because we have not changed them anywhere. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. But before we do that, let me just make sure that I show you that in our staging schema, the tables, we don't have any table here, and we also don't have any view. So this is empty. So when we create when we run DBT run now, DBT will do the magic for us. It's going to create these tables for us automatically. We don't have to do anything. All we have to do is just run the command. So I'm just going to run the DBT run. DBT run is going to run all the models that you have in your models directory. So if you don't have any, if you have a lot of models that you have here, then you can do DBT run and then select the specific model. So you can do something like this, DBT run and select, okay, and then just select the model that you want to run. So that way you just minimize the number of runs that you need to do in your DBT. Okay, but as you can see right here, everything ran fine. We completed successfully, and now when we go to our Postgre, we should be able to see a table that is named my first DBT model and a field that is called my second DBT model. So let's do that. So let's switch over to pgadmin, and if you refresh this staging schema, there we go. So you can see now that we have a table called my first DBT model and a schema called my second DBT model, and you can query and view the data here from right here. Okay, so you have one or two rows here, and the same, I believe, also we can do it with our second DBT model. Okay, so there we go. So we have successfully now connected DBT to our Postgre database, and we also have made some basic transformations, and we are able to determine that DBT is able to write to Postgre database. So now from here you can explore this and go crazy with your transformations. So you can have data in your Postgre and just set up your schema to get the source data from Postgre, and then do your transformations here, and then once you're done, you can write back the transform data to Postgre database. Alright, so that is what I just wanted to show you in this video, guys. I mean, there's a lot that you can do from here, but I just wanted to quickly show you how you can set up DBT to talk to Postgre database. Alright, so like I mentioned here, I have done a number of other videos where I went through the same structure. So if you have watched those videos, you will see that the process is really similar. So I did one for Redshift, I did for Snowflake, I did for MySQL, and if you take a look into those videos, the process is really similar. There's nothing that differs that much. So DBT is really powerful. You can connect to so many databases, and at least right now it connects to the major ones. So it connects to Postgre, MySQL, it connects to, of course, cloud data warehouses. So you know, if you, I think even in my SQL server, sorry, the SQL server database, I'm going to take a look into that and probably make another video on how to connect to SQL server. But yeah, so you can use DBT to connect to both on-prem and cloud data warehouses. So there's a lot that you can do here. So, you know, I hope if you just want to learn how to use DBT and how to set it up for you yourself, I hope these videos are helping you out. Okay, so guys, that's what I had for you in this video. Please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, do consider taking a second and subscribe to the channel so that you can stay updated. I'm going to be releasing quite a number of videos on data engineering tools, data analytics, and also, you know, some career tips on how you can be successful in data and data management field in general. Okay guys, that's all I had for you. Bye bye.